Hello traders, Rich here, and here's a quick but detailed update on gold. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. And you can even request a detailed breakdown like this for any instrument in the comment section below. So let's get started, right? Cheers. We can see that gold has been overall bearish for a while, right? Making lower lows and lower highs. However, if we zoom out, we can see that this downward movement is simply a corrective movement. And yes, it's a deep corrective movement. Gold is still overall bullish from a long-term perspective, as you can see when we zoom out. And this one is simply a corrective. We can see impulse, corrective, and so on. We're currently in a deep corrective movement, and that's why we're looking for buy setups on lower time frames to catch the next impulse. But we can't really know from where the price would reverse, right? And the reason why we're looking for buy setups now is because what we have, what I call a trio retest. So trio retest, because we have this retest, and retest, right? That's why we call it a trio retest. And the first one, the brown trend line, which acts, as you can see, as a non-horizontal support, and price is currently sitting around it. The lower orange trend line is simply the offset of this trend line, which acts as an oversold area. So that's our second retest. Our third one is this horizontal support and round number 1700 and 1667. So currently price is sitting around a very, very interesting area. And as you can see here is the intersection of this trend line, and this support. That's why we're looking for buy setups, but that doesn't mean that price would certainly reverse from here. Price can still go down, break our three retest or our support downward for it to become a resistance, and then we'll be looking for sell setups on the retest. But for now, since price is currently sitting above it, that's why we are still looking for buy setups. And we don't buy blindly around support as price. Here we go. Let me zoom in and show you let me remove these ones. Here we go. So because I know many traders have bought here, and here, and they are now suffering from a big drawdown, or even had their account had their account wiped out, right? Because they are buying blindly around support. We can see this is the entire support area, and for price to break the support, it has to break it with at least two big bearish candles closing below it. Then and only then we can say that yes, our support is now turned into a potential resistance, and then we'll be looking for sell setups on the retest. But for now, this zone is still acting as a support zone, right? So let's zoom into our time frames and try to look and search for more confluence and for extra confirmation and trigger. That's why we do on what we do on lower time frames. On daily and weekly, we just get a feeling about the market. We just know where we stand in the market. So now we're around support, we are looking for buy. Previously, it was around resistance. We were around resistance, we were looking for sell. Here, we were around at 1800, we were looking for sell, and so on, right? So now we are around a support area, so we are only interested in buying opportunities. So even if we get a sell opportunity here, we will not take it, we will not sell. Unless, of course, price goes up, then we may look for sell setups around this area, because this one is a non-horizontal resistance, and we also have the 1800. Anyway, for now, let's take it step by step. For now, we'll be looking for buy setups, knowing that, as mentioned previously, that price can still go down or even break this one slightly downward without having a daily close below it, and then reverses and go up again. That's why we will not buy immediately, as mentioned before. Whoever both here, or here, they are now suffering from this, deep drawdown. We always look for extra confirmation. We can see that from a medium-term perspective, we are also bearish. Price is making lower lows and lower highs, and currently trading inside this falling channel. So, and which also adds more confluence here, because we also have this lower red trend line, which is also an oversold area. So we've got now this one orange, this one red, blue, and the brown trend line from daily time frame. But again and again, it's not ready to go yet. We need extra confirmation. So from H4, we are around here, we are looking for buy setups. We'll zoom into lower time frames and look for triggers. And if price goes around here, we'll be looking for sell setup or short-term trend following sell setups. And of course, let me zoom out. And of course, if price forms a new, if price goes flat from here and forms a new dot or a new swing high around here, then we can buy on break upward from a medium-term perspective. So let me repeat it again. If price goes up from here, we can look for sell here because price would be far from support, and around the 1800 and this trend line, we can look for sell. If price goes flat from here, we will not look for sell because price would be very, very near or very close to our support. In this case, we'll be waiting for this to happen, and then we'll buy after a break above the previous high, okay? So for now, that's what we know from H4. While looking for buy, if price goes up, we'll be looking for sell. If price goes, sorry about that. If price goes flat, then we'll be looking for a buy. Let's zoom into lower time frames and look for potential buy setups. Here we go. We can see that we already have a wedge pattern forming, right? We are overall bearish, right? And even from a short-term, from a 30 perspective, from a very, very short-term perspective, we are overall bearish. Price is making lower lows and lower highs. However, we can clearly see that the impulse is getting flatter, and the corrective is also getting flatter. So we are around support, and we can clearly see that the impulse that was pushing price lower. Here we go. We had a sharp impulse, a flatter impulse, and even flatter impulse. Here we know that the sellers aren't strong enough as they were before, right? Because they are not able to push price aggressively downward like they were doing before, and instead the price is going flatter. But that doesn't mean that the buyers are taking over now. Price can still trade lower and lower from here, right? We always wait for extra confirmation and trigger, and the extra confirmation would be when the previous swing high is broken upward, right? So when we're in an uptrend, that's market structure 101, would be in a downtrend unless the buyers breaks above the previous swing high. Then we know that we might have a potential reversal and a shift in momentum from bearish to bullish. But for now, we're still in a downtrend, and for the buyers to take over, they have to break above the previous swing high, which is this one. And now our trend line is already objective, is already valid, as it's connecting at least 3 swings, right? So long story short, from a short-term perspective, we'll be waiting for this break, for price to break above this one, and which would be even better if price would form. Here we go. If price would form a new swing high around our trend line, to consider that this is the last swing high. So last swing high, price formed a new swing high. So last swing high, and we prefer that price would form a new swing high here, so that the buy would be activated around support. And of course, the stop loss would be smaller because the stop loss always goes just below the previous swing low. So in this case, he would be our stop loss, right? And we target a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which would be around here. And of course, in this case, price has room to go up and hit our take profit before reaching the next non-horizontal resistance, right? So that's what I'm personally waiting on gold. And until this happens, until price breaks above this swing high or forms a new swing high and breaks it upward, we would be overall bearish. And gold can still go lower and lower, as mentioned before, break this one slightly before reversing, or it can still go lower, break it down with 2 big bearish candles from daily to be confirmed to be turned into a resistance, and then we'll be looking for sell setups. right? So don't try to predict or catch the exact bottom or top. Let the market do the first move. Let the market do what it wants to do, and then we will react accordingly. Trading is reactive and not predictive. Always remember that. Wishing you the best, and I'll see you on the next one.